Listen to me, Brock. You've got... Stop calling us that! We are Venom now!
Venom! Now, Venom, or in this case, Jaw Chomping Venom, was released, obviously by Marvel, in the Spider-Man The Animated Series toy line by ToyBiz in 1994. And this was the very first series of the toy line. As, well, Venom is a huge character in the Spider-Man lore. He's one of Spider-Man's worst enemies. And he's even had his own movie series by Sony, but still a movie series of his own. In Spider-Man 3, he wasn't my favorite casting. I would have went somebody bigger. But yeah, he's had a lot of appearances. He's had his own games. He's actually, I think, there's going to be a new game coming out in a couple years just on Venom. So Venom is a huge character. So let's dive into some of the lore the toy was based off of. So a little bit about the 90s cartoon about Venom. In the original series, in season 1, there was a 3-part episode called The Alien Costume. And in that series of episodes, they found this rock on the moon, I believe. So there was an astronaut went up, John Jameson, which is the son of J. Jonah Jameson. And after they got the rock from the moon, the crater started bleeding black ooze. And they got back in the spaceship, but not knowing the ooze, the alien symbiote, got onto the spaceship. And symbiote is basically an organism that bonds and thrives onto another organism. And so anyway, so the spaceship crash lands on the famous bridge in New York City. So Spider-Man swings by, rescues John Jameson from the spaceship, and during that time there was other people that wanted that technology that was from the crater, the Kingpin, and so he enlisted Rhino to come and steal it from the shuttle. And so Spider-Man had to deal with the Rhino and also rescue John Jameson, and he had to go back into the spaceship because he heard something else move and he couldn't find anything at the time. So he was actually framed because another photographer, Eddie Brock, took pictures of Spider-Man rescuing and also leaving the shuttle, and he twisted the news and lied to J. Jonah Jameson. He told them that Spider-Man stole the rock and not the Rhino. So anyways, in the next morning, Peter Parker wakes up in the middle of New York City, not knowing where he is, in a costume he's never seen before. The alien costume was actually went onto Peter's Spider-Man costume, but he didn't realize at the time. And when he was sleeping, it went off of the costume and onto him, and he had a nightmare, and he woke up in the middle of New York. And so basically, in these episodes, Peter becomes the Black Spider-Man, and he was more stronger. He could change his appearance to anything he wanted to wear, and he shot webbing from the top part of his hand instead of the bottom part like he normally does. But the side effect was that it was taking over, and eventually he had to get it off because it was turning him more into a villain than a hero. And some of the weaknesses of the symbiote is fire and loud noises or bells or sonic vibrations. So basically, throughout the 3 episodes, Eddie Brock had a vendetta against Peter Parker and also Spider-Man. And then at the end of the 2nd episode, Peter was trying to get rid of the symbiote, and so he was hitting the church bell, and eventually him and the symbiote separated, and then the symbiote went on to Eddie Brock, and Eddie Brock became Venom, this guy. And he knew everything Peter knew because the symbiote bonded with him, and so he knows all of his secrets. And then when Venom is nearby, Spider-Man's spider sense doesn't even trigger. So it was pretty interesting, and it was one of his greatest battles. And at the end, he was able to separate the symbiote and Eddie Brock and web the symbiote to another spaceship that was going into outer space. So in season 3, Venom does return. He returns with the help of Dormammu and Mordo, which are villains of Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange was not in these 2 episodes, but he was in a previous episode in the Spider-Man the Animated Series. And they brought back not just Venom, but the symbiote reproduced, and they brought the child symbiote onto Cletus Cassidy, who was a psycho, and he became Carnage. And so that's how they introduced Carnage, which is Venom's ultimate enemy, besides Spider-Man, into the series there. And those two episodes, besides Spider-Man, Iron Man and War Machine made a guest appearance, and they're both fighting Venom and Carnage, Mordu and Dormammu. But in the second episode, Venom realigns himself with Spider-Man, and they both team up, and at the end, Venom and Carnage gets transported into an alternate dimension. That's the last you see of Venom in the series.
I'm not going in there alone! Ashley! Eddie! I'll always love you! All is lost for now.
So, in 1994, if you would have bought Venom back in the day, in Canada, he would have cost around $7.99 with his jaw chomping action. And he came with no accessories, just this figure. So the cheapest I could find him on eBay, just like this, no box, was about $4.99 US. And the most expensive I could find him without any box was about $70 Canadian. And if you wanted to buy him in the box, the cheapest I could find was about $15 US. And the most expensive I could find him in the box was about $55 US.
It's lonely at the top. Well, if it isn't Venom, a dentist's worst nightmare.
Web Racer Spider-Man and action figures sold separately.
Jaw Chomping Venom. I love this toy. I wished I had him as a kid. And I did get Venom as a kid, but later on it was a different version of Venom. But if you squeeze his legs, he chomps. His mouth goes up and down by squeezing the legs. That's pretty cool. There's a little wear and tear, like a little bit on his chest with the white spider paint. But besides that, and maybe on his arm, like where he shoots web, there might be a little paint rub there. And also, if you look at the edge of his tongue, he might have some. But besides that, he's in pretty good shape. I can't complain. It's almost like I took him out of the box. The seller took good care of him. I can't complain. I like the detail. I mean, besides he's very muscular, you can actually see if you look at the legs, not sure if you can see it on camera or not, or his arm, he has veins popping out. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, not in real life, but like in the toy, the detail, I think that's pretty amazing.